We got over it. I think joining NCIS actually helped.
Well, I don't think that's the case with Papa Parker. I think his son joining NCIS actually made things worse.
The latest season of NCIS, which has been on CBS since September, has been great. But now that the show is going to pause for a week, fans may be wondering when the popular police procedural drama will come back. Also, since the special event is coming soon, now is a great time to look back at past crossovers. Here are the NCIS crossovers we think are the best of all time.
Mix of hot water and GABA inhibitors? Yes, absolutely.
Okay. How did you get away?
Starting us off, major NCIS crossover release date. On Monday night, CBS will not air a new episode of NCIS like they usually do. Instead, they will show a previous episode from season 19. Don't worry, because on Monday, December 5th, the show will be back with a brand new episode called Higher Education. This is also true for NCIS Hawaii, whose next episode, Desperate Measures, will air the same night. In Higher Education, the team will look into the death of a college student who was hit by a car as he ran across the street. The victim also has ties to Sean Murray's character, Agent Timothy McGee's wife, Delilah McGee, played by Margot Harshman. After episode 9, the show will take its annual winter break and won't come back until the three-way franchise crossover on CBS on January 2nd. For the first time in the franchise's history, the original series will work with NCIS Hawaii and NCIS Los Angeles for the special event. Fans' favorite agents from each show will work together to solve a high-stakes, very personal case involving an unknown hitman. The official summary states, team members from the different NCIS divisions come together in Washington, D.C. to celebrate a beloved FLTC professor who taught multiple members of each of the squads. On the day before the party, the professor's body is found. It looks like he killed himself, but his former students immediately think something else happened. As the agents look into the professor's past, they find a mysterious hitman, and the more they look into it, the bigger the targets on their backs get. When members of the team are suddenly taken, all the agents must work together to find the kidnapper and save their own. Next, the best NCIS crossover of all time, first Dwayne Pride and Christopher LaSalle appeared on NCIS.
I'm sure he appreciates it.
He appreciates that I come over once a week for a game of Risk.
Is that the one where you conquer the world?
Dad likes to go to war.
First on our list is a two-part crossover between the main NCIS and NCIS New Orleans. Entertainment Weekly says that in the first part of Pandora's Box, New Orleans characters Dwayne Pride and Christopher LaSalle, played by Scott Bakula and Lucas Black, show up on the parent show to help Homeland Security find the hacker who stole the agent's entire terror attack response playbook. But let's take a few steps back. Before they knew that they were hacked, Homeland Security set up a fake terror attack to see how law enforcement would respond. The fake attack involved sending balloons with, quote, sarin gas and explosives in them. All of the explosives were fake, except for one. It turns out that one of the operatives in the Homeland think tank sent real gas and explosives into the VIP box of a Bosnian diplomat to get back at him for killing his parents. Once the think tank realizes this, they also realize that there is enough gas missing to kill hundreds of people. Once Pride and LaSalle video chat with team, they find out that the hacker who stole the terror response playbook also made fake information about sarin to trick the think tank into planning the kind of attack they did. So, who is this hacker? Nobody knows. We have to go to New Orleans to find that out.
Wood shavings?
I found him in the driver's side footwell.
Okay, maybe Parker's not the only one with hobbies. Maybe Vivian could be into woodworking.
Next, Timothy McGee and Nick Torres went down to New Orleans. According to Entertainment Weekly, in part 2 of the Pandora's Box episode, NCIS New Orleans agents Timothy McGee and Nick Torres, played by Sean Murray and Wilmer Valderrama, head from Washington, D.C. to the birthplace of jazz to find the Homeland Security hacker. But since it's Mardi Gras and everyone is wearing masks, the hunt turns out to be harder than they expected. After New Orleans team finds a potential playbook buyer who ended up dead, Special Agent Tammy Gregorio, Vanessa Ferlito, goes undercover as the buyer and meets the seller, who turns out to be Eva Azarova, a Russian sleeper agent who was in the last crossover between NCIS and NCIS New Orleans. They get into a tense standoff right away, which lasts until they get to Eva's hotel room. Eva is outsmarted by Gregorio, but then two masked gunmen burst in the room, steal the laptop with the playbook on it, and kidnap Torres at the same time. Eva says that the person who stole the playbook is a man named Victor. Victor is the Russian spy who took Eva from her family and turned her to a spy. She wants to get back at Torres, so she offers to be traded for him so she can get what she wants. So McGee and the team make a deal to trade McGee. Eva kills Victor, and the rest of the team finds Torres. Eva goes to jail, but Gregorio is sure it was worth it. It looks like revenge is best when it's done slowly.
The FBI was shocked to learn of Vivian's abduction. How can we help NCIS find her?
Appreciate the offer, Deputy Director Sweeney, but right now,
Moving on, Hetty from NCIS Los Angeles appeared on Scorpion. In 2014, Linda Hunt, who played operations manager Hetty Lang on NCIS Los Angeles, was on an episode of the CBS drama Scorpion. Scorpion is not part of the NCIS series, but Hunt did play Hetty Lang there. In the Scorpion episode, Walter O'Brien, who is played by Elise Gable, is in charge of a group of socially awkward geniuses who have to crash a Halloween party to get back a valuable painting. Entertainment Weekly says that Lang joins the team to help them go undercover. Fans of NCIS Los Angeles were happy to see Lang, but critics didn't think the episode was very good. Den of Geek only gave the episode 2.5 out of 5 stars and said that parts of the story were cliche and beyond forced. The writer said, "It's a good hour of TV, but it feels very scripted, almost as if an algorithm or piece of science was used to put it together. It makes sense from a math point of view, but it's nothing special." Express says that fans also found a plot hole. On Scorpion, Robert Patrick plays a U.S. secret agent named Cabe Gallo, but in an episode of NCIS in 2009, he played Colonel Mert Bell, who died in the same episode. If Scorpion was in the same world as NCIS, how did this late colonel show up as a special agent years later? Asked the publication. Next up, Tony DiNozzo soaked up some sun in Los Angeles. Tony DiNozzo, a popular character played by Michael Weatherly, showed up on an episode of NCIS Los Angeles in 2015. This was such a big deal that it made the cover of T-Guide. "We've been trying for years to find a way to get DiNozzo on the show that's not just a cameo." Executive producer Sean Brennan told the magazine NCIS Los Angeles, "We wanted Tony to really be a part of the story," they said. In the episode, Bobby Lee from Mad TV plays a money launderer who has got away. DiNozzo asks the LA team for help finding him, so DiNozzo travels across the country, from the cherry blossoms of DC to the palm trees and traffic of LA. Weatherly told TV Guide that he was looking forward to playing DiNozzo in a new setting. "For 13 years, besides a tiny part here and there, I've just been playing DiNozzo," he said, "so having the character go through other things is very important to me. Also, I love seeing where DiNozzo goes and how he acts in different places." But Weatherly was also worried about bringing DiNozzo to a different show. "To be honest, I was a little nervous about joining NCIS Los Angeles because I didn't know how DiNozzo would be received, not just by the team, but also by the audience," he said. Well, Blame It on Rio got 8.8 out of 10 stars from IMDb users, so it looks like LA fans liked DiNozzo. Lastly, Tony DiNozzo made a pit stop in New Orleans. Michael Weatherly, as Tony DiNozzo, has also appeared in other spin-offs besides NCIS Los Angeles. He was on the second episode of NCIS New Orleans ever made. In the episode Carrier, DiNozzo comes to the rescue to help the New Orleans team find the source of an outbreak of the bubonic plague on a Navy ship. Celeb Dirty Laundry says that DiNozzo calls himself the Plague Whisperer, if only solve COVID. So he and Special Agent Dwayne Pride risk getting the plague by going on board the ship to talk to the seamen who are still there. They find another dead crew member on the ship, find out that the infectious strain seems to have been made in a lab. One lab also reports that they had a break-in. When the agents added up the evidence, they realized that this was an act of bioterrorism. As it turns out, the officer's illness came from the ship's doctor. He ran a pharmaceutical company that was trying to find a cure for the bubonic plague. He was about to go bankrupt, so he came up with a plan to get quickly. He would start an outbreak of the bubonic plague so that people would need to buy the medicine. This would put money in his pockets and keep him from going bankrupt.